Strategies to be covered include leadership styles, recruitment, and rewards management. Steve Jobs was a major influence to how Apple became what it is today. This is because of his eccentric leadership style, which was described as visionary. He was set to communicate this vision that he had to his employees, and he would do anything to get there, even utilize an autocratic leadership approach. It was so useful that the success or failure of Pixar and Next, two businesses that he worked for when ousted from Apple, depended on him. Samsung utilized a completely different leadership style to Apple. They follow an approach known as the contingency approach, where the appropriate leadership style is used for the required situation. Samsung is said to have used a 50-50 split between the authoritative and participative/democratic style. Authoritative refers to a dictatorial means of management, whereas democratic is where employees are involved by the leader in the decision-making process. The main thing to consider when critiquing and deciding on the leadership style is employee satisfaction. Apple, therefore, should utilize the behavioral approach so as to improve corporate culture as well as motivate employees and develop relationships within the workplace. Samsung should also consider the behavioral approach. Because they focus on creativity, a behavioral approach or a participative leadership style could allow efficiency to increase and also increase the number of relationships with employees created. Apple has a peculiar method of recruiting employees. It is known as dissociative recruitment. This is where candidates are placed in typical Apple situations to see how they can cope. This idea was derived from Steve Jobs' Eureka philosophy, which involved combining two or more compatible elements to create a new product. An example of this is the iPhone. This is a diagram explaining the different forms of recruitment for different qualifications. An SSAT is a psychological test for potential Samsung employees. Samsung and Apple could benefit from internal and external recruitment. However, Apple's method of recruitment, known as dissociative recruitment, is extremely useful for Samsung. Using this method allows Samsung to effectively determine which candidate has the right skill set for Samsung, but it also allows them to deduce what each of these candidates do in a high-pressure, realistic Samsung situation. This can then save Samsung on many unnecessary employment separation costs in case the employees that are picked are not compatible with Samsung's methods and ideology. Considering Apple is currently one of the giants in the industry, it is weird when it is said that their employees are quite poorly paid. It has sold $16 billion of merchandise worldwide, yet employees in the US are paid an average wage of $25,000 per year. This has resulted in the decrease of worker satisfaction, with one employee even saying, "When you look at the amount of money the company is making and then you look at your paycheck, it's kinda tough." However, Apple employees do report that it is a fun place to work at, despite the low pay. They believe that they receive non-monetary benefits such as motivation and the satisfaction when they see a customer who has been served well. They also say it has been a rewarding job that experience can be gathered from. These are just some of the intrinsic benefits that employees receive from Apple. Samsung's reward management strategies are quite different to Apple. Firstly, they pay their employees much more, with the stats being stated on this slide. Samsung also have invested an increasing amount of money in fringe benefits, so that employee satisfaction can remain. Samsung's leadership style also encourages and motivates employees, this being an intrinsic benefit felt by the employee themselves. This is a graph demonstrating the amount of money that Samsung has spent on fringe benefits. From the graph, it can be seen that from 2009 to 2011, there has been a major growth in the amount of money spent in Korea, whereas over these 3 years, overseas, a slow growth has been seen. It can be seen that both Apple and Samsung have the main focus of individually rewarding its employees. However, it may be better for both if a system of team rewards were to be introduced. This is because individual recognition and rewards may induce internal competition, which may impact business culture. Gain sharing plans are examples of team rewards, where the teams are rewarded instead of individuals.